Speaking of throwing away money, actually, it's not really a good transition. Speaking of terrifyingly good music. Wait. Speaking of
Try
deadly
it
good
again.
music, we watched a movie about a girl who died, a high school girl who died, and she got killed by, well, basically a moose landed on top of her, and she actually, I guess it's, I don't know how you could describe this really. She becomes a ghost really, but she could still be seen,
Here's the thing.
and she tries to
Okay.
live her life until she disappears. I don't know how to really
Yeah.
put. Yeah, basically that's what happened.
Okay. And I'm 3 in.
Oh, you're three. Okay, I watched the whole thing
Yeah.
in like two days.
Okay.
They're only like 20-minute episodes, and I was like, the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is a teenage comedy because I didn't have any idea what it was. I just saw
Yeah.
it on my thing, and I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I watched it, teenage comedy. I'm like, it kind of feels like a Nickelodeon movie, but
Right.
it's better. It's better quality.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's done a lot better. It's very predictable, but I just kind of sat back and enjoyed it. I didn't really like analyze it too much. I was like, well, this is kind of everything's nothing really surprising here. There is one twist that happens. I don't know if you got to the twist yet, but probably not.
I did. I haven't. Let me say this about it. The if you want to just sit back and just watch something, it works. I did appreciate the two actresses,
Oh,
but
yeah. Well, the one that played the friend
the
was
one that plays
amazing.
the one that plays the friend is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's awesome.
she
And do
is
you know where she's
absolutely
from?
awesome.
I remember her
Nope.
from Annie. She was a little chunky kid in Annie.
Really, because I thought to myself,
I shouldn't say chunky. She was a little kid in Annie.
we're definitely going to see her again. That was what
Yeah.
I thought. I thought we're going to see her again.
She was just
Um,
an ancillary character in Annie, and I was like, that girl looks really familiar. And I looked her up. I'm like, oh yeah, she was in the Annie that had Jamie
Oh,
Foxx.
no, she has such a great sense of presence, and she really has a comedic timing.
She kind of upstaged the other girl a little bit, but
Oh yeah, no, by acres. Absolutely by acres.
the other
And
girl's good too. I mean,
yeah,
the main
no,
character.
they're both good. The other girl being good enough, but she was extraordinary, right?
And actually, there's a reason why she was cast in that role, but you wouldn't know that till you get farther in. Because there's the last couple episodes, I would say the last episode especially, requires a lot of good acting chops and complicated scenes, I guess, that are more emotional, I guess. I don't know how to put it, but no, that's what I liked about this was that I noticed this was directed by four women, and not to be sexist, but you can really tell because I think women are more in touch with their feelings and they know how a girl would feel in high school.
Yeah, yeah. This is
So you can
you know,
see that.
this is true, and the thing that's funny is it is something I definitely noticed. I definitely noticed it. It's attention to details that especially details in the dialogue that men don't get.
Right. Yeah. Totally. And this is a good movie to watch with your teenage daughter, probably, or a good show. I mean, really, I wouldn't say it's the best thing out there, but it's stupid, it's silly, it's corny, but I actually really enjoyed it personally.
Yeah.
Took me on a
I,
little journey. I enjoyed it. I liked the
I
ending. The ending was perfect. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It's just,
how many episodes are there of it?
I think there's only like 8.
There's only eight. Okay.
What's
Okay.
weird? That's another thing that bothers me about the world is changing too fast for me, man. Because these used to be called miniseries, and this is called a
Oh,
limited series. I'm like, what the hell? What? Why?
well, it's almost everything is getting down to like a 10. Between 8 and 10.
Well, I'm
Uh,
just the term. What's wrong with miniseries? I mean, because
yeah. No. Though I have to say I kind of like the formats. I kind of like
I like the
the
little 20-minute episodes. Those are cool.
well, I like the format overall of expanding something beyond a movie and yet not going in
Yes,
for the whole series,
yes,
right?
where you have to do a whole
For
like season
22
or two
episodes or
seasons.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
where you sign up for 3 seasons and you have to stretch everything out, which
There's
I
something
think.
about that there are arcs to stories that I think that are better told in that overall period of time. Yeah.
Oh, well, you mentioned arcs. That's the one thing that I noticed when watching this. Well, there's definitely an arc in the whole thing where there's a climax, but there's
Oh,
also mini arcs in each episode where there's a climax, and that's usually where the cutoff is, you
yeah.
know. But no, that's what made it interesting was even though it was predictable, there were some things that kind of surprised me. And actually, I could say if you're a teenager and you're doing TikTok in the hallway and you're hanging out with the biggest jerk in school, then you might want to think about your life choices. That's what that's so that's just a little advice from an old man.
But very the dialogue was really snappy.
No, it kind of reminded me a little bit of I don't know if you remember that show with Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, it did. It reminded me a
Rapid
little
fire
bit,
kind of chatting.
yeah,
But not
yeah.
as not to the extent where they on the Gilmore Girls would use like multi-syllable words constantly. Like it was more like how actual
Right.
I mean, well, how old people think teenagers talk was how this was written, but it was written well.
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually how they talk. You know what I'm
with
saying?
you. I mean,
Plus, everybody's in their 20s that was acting in this, right?
yeah. I would give it, like at least a 2.9 or a 3.
See, I think I would be like I was actually honestly about average, about 2.5 or 6 until I got to like I turned the corner somewhere around episode 4, and I was like, okay, and it got better. So I think 2.8 is probably where I'd.
Well, I might actually go through the bother finishing it.
But it's like one of those things where if you don't take it seriously, I think you'll enjoy it. Because I was like, I can see how people might hate this if they're expecting it to be, edgy or something.
There is one thing that I have to say is the for one thing the thing that landed on her, which was supposed to be a moose, wasn't always a moose.
Yes, I wondered about that.
Did you notice? It was a spotted deer sometimes.
I think weren't they trying to make it look like it was shrinking?
Yeah, something like that. I was like, well, wait a minute. Now that was first it was a moose, but now it's got spots. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Did somebody like return it to the prop house and then they couldn't get it back the next day?
I don't know. Maybe it was decomposing too fast and they had to get rid of the moose.
Well, plus the fact that the shoes that were underneath it obviously didn't have any feet in them. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because it was almost like the house on the Wicked Witch,
right?
Where you just see the feet sticking out or the shoes sticking out.
Exactly, but then there's this like big gap between the two, and there's no legs in there. I was like, well,
it was too flat.
She had such a horrible. She's not dead. She's just missing her better shoes.
Yeah, really. I mean, like I said, if you analyze it too much.
It's not to be overanalyzed. It was a very interesting.
I think it's just a fun teen comedy. I mean, the reason why I picked it because I thought it was going to be a comedy that was a rom-com type thing, but I had no idea what it was about. I just saw the name and I was like, okay, it's. I don't know. Let's give it a shot.
It was fun. It was fun. So.
That was easy.
Oh, you're watching a Bob Hope back there, are you? Behind you?
Speaking of Bob Hope.
That's one. You know what that is back there? That's one of the road.
Yes,
the road films.
It's Road to Bali, 1952, I think it was. Yeah. But so it's one that they didn't renew the trademark on it, so I can play it as much as I want, bitches. Yeah. Don't have to even talk about it. Anyway.
And you can do Steamboat Willie too.
Oh, Steamboat Willie, yes. I'm madly drawing all these characters and stealing Steamboat Willie. I'm rewriting Steamboat Willie 2.0 as we speak. Not really. I'm having AI write Steamboat Willie 2.0 for me.
As a drama with a lot of cliffhangers, right?
No, it's murder mystery.
Murder mystery. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yep.
Somebody gets murdered and.
Yeah. Woo.
Who's the suspect? Minnie Mouse is the suspect. The prime suspect.
Who isn't? Who isn't a little goofy?
Goofy. Yes.
See?